I'm Dr. Ian Johnston, and we're continuing our series on playing in the sandbox with Cerner. Today we're going to go over the most straightforward workflow for creating a document. This will be the workflow that we generally use when we are doing an admission of a patient to hospital. So here we are back at a patient chart. We'll pretend that this is a 5-year-old patient who's coming in with asthma. We enter a chief complaint, perhaps shortness of breath, and we need to indicate a presenting problem, and it looks as though I've already done it and said that the presenting problem is asthma. Now we need to enter the basics of the history in the appropriate spots. Our options are to type if we are speedy typers, which I am not, or use Dragon Medical 1. Unfortunately, my recording software gets upset when I use Dragon Medical 1 at the same time as I try to record video, so I will just type in a few words for you. So there we go. The patient presents with a 5-day history of cough and wheeze. One has to remember to save each section. There is a way to do this using step-by-step commands, which eliminates this, but for simplicity we'll say that we've dictated it, and then we need to press save before we move on, otherwise we'll run into problems down the road. I'll then proceed and enter similar information under physical examination as well as assessment and plan, remembering to save at each step. Once I have entered the rest of the information to my satisfaction, I can then start to think about how I'm going to put this together into a note. One consideration is whether I want to include any lab work in the note. This is a simple matter. One can move to labs, where we see any blood work that has been done, and then we can simply select whatever we want to include in the note. So I'll choose all of the blood work. I'll press the top and then press shift to select everything all the way down. And this is 14 items, and I will tag them. So that's all fine and dandy. I then see if there's anything else. I see nothing under diagnostics that I can put in, so we'll have to be satisfied with that. Now the next step is to take the information that has been entered into the chart and collate all that into a note. And this is done using the selections down here. By default, you will have the most common selections at the top, but I would remind you that we have many more available if one clicks the More button, and this would include even a free text note if this is the way you prefer to do things. But let's just do a consultation note, because that's usually what I'll do. I'll click on it, and we can see a few things. We can see that the history of present illness, the physical examination, and the assessment and plan has been pulled in. Any medications that have been entered have also been pulled into the note. Somebody had entered allergies, and those lab results that I had tagged were also pulled into the lab results. For reasons which I don't entirely understand, the chief complaint does not pull in, and we'll have to do that. And then we're pretty well finished. Anything without anything in the section will not appear in the final note. Now let's cancel all of that and try it again in a little bit different fashion. Once again, we will do our consultation note, but this time we didn't tag any of the lab results. Not surprisingly, without any tagged lab results, we have a blank here, and this is going to happen from time to time. You will start to make your note and then realize you wanted to add something. We still have the opportunity to add the lab results. We can simply go back to where we were before and go ahead and tag them. So we'll do that once again. And I'm demonstrating here a common error. If we click the name, it doesn't work. If we click the number, it does work. So there we go. We've tagged our 14 items once again. Now, if we go back to the document, now this is a common point of confusion. If I press a consult note again, it will create another consult note, which can be a little bit annoying. So instead, I'm going to go in the dark menu to documentation, and that will take me to the existing note. Now we see here there's nothing under lab results, and that's another quirk of Cerner. If you tag while the note is already open, you have to refresh it in order for the results to appear. So that's a common cause of confusion when you're building notes. As I mentioned before, this is one way to do it. There are many ways to skin a cat. If, on the other hand, we would like to work directly from the note template, that is also possible. Let's do things a little bit differently. We will add a new note. We will look at all of our choices. I would like to add a consultation note, so I will choose consult note, and I will say OK. And here we see a blank template. We still have those tagged lab results, so they've been pulled in. But if I would like to do everything from here, I can certainly do so and dictate whatever I want. That way one doesn't have to go through the entire workflow if this is something that you find to be distracting. It's also a good time to point out the many different options for note types. You can see there are dozens of different note templates, and it's probably worth looking at them to see if any of them meet your needs. The free text note is an interesting one. If one wants to do a more traditional consultation note without a large number of headings, one can use a free text note. Make sure you define what type of note it is, because medical records will be looking for either a consultation or history and physical for each person that's admitted to hospital. But one could certainly work from a blank template if that is what you would like to do. This can be simplified considerably by using templates through either Dragon Medical 1 or through Cerner itself. We will discuss this in a later video.